wild right of his own. Hagler with a right to the back of the head. Hart on the left of your screen, Haglar on the right. A pair of middleweights, both 24 years old, both in need of a victory. 40 seconds remaining in round 3. Right hand jab by Haglar does not get in.
If this round fight goes any to the limit, he might be tiring near the end of the fight. Could prove disastrous for him. I think he's going to have to be a little more conservative and be a little more patient and wait his chance.
His right hand there blocked by Haglar's glove. In the closing seconds of round 3, on a big round that is for Marvin Haglar, as he drops Eugene Hart for the mandatory 8 counts. That's the first clear-cut round we've had the entire fight, with Marvin Haglar early in the first minute of the fight.
Right there, I think that's the one that hurt him. The right, he's down. The first left was the one I think that stunned him the most. Then the right came in and it set him right up for that little left, and that was like just pushed over the edge for him, and down he went. Here he's getting more coaching.
I think maybe
instruction.
Maybe his aide in the corner is saying, you did it once, do it again, because he was giving the gesture just about the same combination, the left, right, left, that took Hart down. So we go to the 4th round. Good middleweight match here, Spectrum Fights on Prism. We get tomorrow night the Phillies and the Pirates on Prism TV at 7:30. Hart stalking his man in the corner, but Haglar again gets out of harm's way. That's Haglar with the dark trunks, Hart in the white. Hart was down in round 3. Hart from Philadelphia, Haglar from Brockton, Massachusetts. Hart very confident and cocky the first 2 rounds, talking and laughing. More serious now. A right and a left, another left. They're being warded off by the gloves of Hart, who now battles back with his back to the ropes, and he's angry, but he now has a slight cut in his right cheek, high in the cheek.
He doesn't seem to be as confident, like you say, Ralph, in these last round and this round here. Marvin Haglar seems to be getting stronger and stronger as this fight goes on, and Cyclone Hart seems to be getting a little more unsure of himself.
Right and the left combination again by Haglar. That's been his most effective volley of the evening. Wild right hand by Hart, missing the mark as he has missed so often this evening.
He's going to have to keep his hands up high too, because Haglar is starting to score fairly good in there, especially with that cut over his cheek now. He's going to have to keep his hands up awfully high.
Hart swinging mighty punches, but really getting nothing but elbows. There he gets a left hand in. Misses with one left high in the head, but the one left got in good. There's a right and a left. Again, they're being pretty much taken by Haglar's arms. But each man dishing out some punishment here. A couple of left hand leads by Marvelous Marvin. He's going head hunting, and he's finding his mark. Haglar just pummeling the head of Cyclone Hart. Left and a right. Not real hard, solid punches, but scoring punches. Haglar bleeding from the nose. Hart takes a right hand. 30 seconds to go in round 4. Again, the left and the right to the body. Left, right combination to the head. Right uppercut. Countering with the left hand is Hart, but Hart is hurt a bit. No laughing right now.
Gene Hart's going to hope for this bell to come soon, and he's only got about 15 seconds to go to hang on here.
Best round of the fight overall, as both men have dished out some punishment. The bulk of it again by Marvin Haglar. He lands a left and then takes a right after the bell. And being warned for that, and Haglar, who was in a very bright and cheery mood 2 rounds ago, is an angry young man right now.
I think, Ralph, that all those wild punches that were missing the mark in the first 2 or 3 rounds is starting to pay its toll now on Gene Hart, because he seemed to be an awful lot tireder now. Here it is right here. He's up against the ropes. He can't even seem to get out of the way, and Haglar just seems to be getting through with those short jabs that like you say, they score an awful lot of points to the judges. And Gene Hart is not the same fighter he was in the first 3 rounds.
Well, his career has taken for him, a disastrous turn in the past year since fighting to that draw with Benny Briscoe less than a year ago. The last 10 months have not been so kind to Cyclone Hart.
The big thing is, they say that if Cyclone Hart loses this fight, they're going to have to take him on the road because the Philly fans probably won't want to come and see him fight anymore.
That's right. He needs a big win here to keep the home front fans happy. We go into round 5. Marvin Haglar on the left of your screen with the dark trunks. On the right, Cyclone Hart. Hart missing with a left and a right, and now getting Haglar in the corner, and Haglar ties him up. And Hart goes right back after him. I don't get the impression that Gene Hart is especially fond of Marvin Haglar.
No, I don't think so, especially after that last round when he kind of came in with a late punch there after the bell had gone, and I know Marvelous Marvin kind of took exception to that.
The bleeding has stopped on both men. Haglar bleeding from the nose the last round. Hart from the right cheekbone. Hart has Haglar in Haglar's own corner, but Haglar punches his way right out of the corner. He seems to have no difficulty at all getting that right-hand jab or the left-hand lead such as that one through Hart's defenses.
Gene Hart is very definitely tired. Gene Hart, that's a different. I know of a certain fellow by the name of Gene Hart, too, that is not in that kind of condition.
Well, he is a heavyweight. These are middleweights. But Gene, not quite the heavyweight he used to be. He's lost about 55 pounds, and he's so proud of it. He'll talk about his diet for a month if you ask him.
Just wait for the free Cokes of the press rooms.
Okay, there's Hart with Haglar in the corner. Hart has Haglar against the ropes. Haglar has been pretty successful just punching his way out of that kind of difficulty earlier. We're halfway through round number 5. Haglar trying to do more damage to Cyclone Hart. Well, it's amazing how a man's mood can change when you think of all the laughing and talking that Cyclone Hart was laying on his man. Now he's shoved back and almost falls down from exhaustion.
Oh, he is really tired, Ralph. And Haglar seems to be, like they say in the racing circles, rating himself very well. He'll throw quite a few combinations when he has him in the trouble along the ropes, and then he'll back away and relax a little bit. Then he'll go after him again, whereas Cyclone Hart earlier in the fight just tried to throw every punch he could and end it quickly. And as it turns out, he is very, very tired young fighter right now.
No more of the smiling or the cross-ring talk as Cyclone Hart has his hands full tonight with marvelous Marvin Haglar. Again, he has Haglar against the ropes, but it has not bothered Haglar getting there as he's been able to punch his way right out of trouble each time. 20 seconds remain in round 5. Hart again trying to get Haglar against the ropes, but going in rather cautiously now. Gets a left hand in that stung Haglar up. But that's a good left hand. Counters with a right that doesn't get through. If it had, he might have really done something. There's a good right hand at the bell, and a left after the bell. Well, that's the second round that Hart has gotten Haglar clearly after the bell is.
Drop your guard and relax, and if that fighter comes in and pops you one, that could be a very damaging blow.
Up at his corner men are warning him of that fact right now, telling him to keep those dukes up after the bell sounds to protect himself.
We just got a ruling from the judge there, Ralph, if they took that round away from Eugene Cyclone Hart just because of that late punch. So they do penalize a fighter.
I'm not really sure they had the round to take away. I think he lost the round anyway.
I know,
so
but that, according to the judges at the side here, that's a third warning for him. So he could be in trouble just from penalizing.
Well, he's got Haglar in some trouble right now. Haglar bleeding from the nose, and Hart dishing out some punishment as he has Haglar against the ropes. A pretty good left hand got through, and there's a left to the midsection, and Haglar having some difficulty fighting out of it this time, as he has so successfully before. As Hart scoring heavily, especially with a left. There he gets a right high to the head of marvelous Marvin Haglar. So Cyclone Hart in the first minute of the 6th round having his best flurry, but there's a left and a right, another left, and a right and a left, and now Hart's in trouble. And Eugene fights right back. 6 rounds being a dandy.
Oh, this has been the best fight of the night. Lots of action here, Ralph. Prater's standing there toe-to-toe.
Good right hand by Hart, but Haglar, clearly the stronger of the two now, pushes his man back and suddenly finds himself up against the ropes where Hart has dished out most of his damage here in this round. Again, little pity-pat blows from both men, but they score in the official's eyes as Haglar pushes himself away from the ropes, the nose still bleeding. Haglar moving in against missing with the right hand, and Hart looks very weary now. May have punched himself out a bit here in the early part of the 6th round as Haglar battles out of the ropes. Haglar with the uppercut. Right hand jab, left hand missed by Hart. There's the right hand jab and the left. The right misses. They couldn't break a cream puff with those punches they're exchanging right now with a minute to go in round 6.
They both seem to be wanting, and